Well, almost 3 years after a man was murdered at his home in Springfield, the convicted killer learns his fate. Paul Morales was found guilty back in November of 2023 for the murder of Chandler Sweaney. He was a bystander to his roommate's drug deal that went sour. Fox 49's Bethany French was in the courtroom earlier today for that sentencing. She joins us live outside the courthouse with more on that tonight. Bethany?
Yes, Mike, it was an emotional day in the courtroom today as Sweaney's family felt relief as the man that murdered their loved one was sentenced with 55 years in prison.
Gratitude that the judge, saw him for who he was, and he is a repeat offender with no remorse. So I would say gratitude.
Paul Morales was sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole for second-degree murder. In addition to that sentence, he also received 15 years for armed criminal action and 10 years for unlawful possession of a firearm.
But the point is, an innocent individual died as a consequence. And the jury found that you killed that person.
In February of 2021, Paul Morales and another man, Timothy Johnson, went to buy drugs from Ricky Rose, a tenant in Chandler Sweaney's home. When the deal went wrong, Sweaney was shot and killed while sitting on his couch. His mother was grateful to hear the verdict today.
He's the only person that was involved in this that hasn't been able to look me in the eye, none of us in the eye at all. So he has shown no remorse.
The judge's decision today was based on Morales' criminal history. Lyric says this has been a long 3-year process, and her family will still be healing for years to come.
I would say that this does give us closure on the path to justice. The other path, I got to tell you, it's going to be the rest of my life of trying to find some sort of peace in our family.
Lyric tells me she knows that Sweaney has already forgiven Morales, even if she hasn't.
Well, Bethany, we know that Morales was not the only person involved in this case. We've also heard about Timothy Johnson and Ricky Rose during the span of this. What's happened to them exactly?
Yes, so both Timothy Johnson and Ricky Rose were also charged with second-degree murder, but they pleaded guilty. And now Johnson was sentenced to 15 years in prison, and Rose, who was Sweaney's tenant, was sentenced to 10 years in prison. Reporting in Springfield, Bethany French, Fox 49 News.